how to move from one point to another in these our studies. So we are going to be having, it's going to be an interaction. I will interact with it before I begin to talk. But let me start with this. On the first note, I want you to know that no student is a dullard. What do you guys say? All of you have the ability and the capacity to be excellent. All of you. So I want you to place your hand on your chest and say, I am an excellent student. Say it with confidence. Say it with confidence. That is who you are, and that is what we are training you to be in this place. But of course, you need to learn the techniques and of course the strategies you can use. Now let me share two stories with you. I wanted to show you a video. I don't know, the network is not doing us well. But if you can see, lay our hands on that video. What's the video? Let me share my own story and the story of one boy I know very well. Me that you are looking at in your phone now, I happened to write YA 7 times. I wrote JAM 5 times. And I spent about 6 to 7 years at home before I did admission. In the story of my journey, I started as a very low student. In fact, I was almost coming from behind every time. It got to a point where my mates, when they are talking, I'm usually afraid to talk because I don't want to make this so analyze. But one critical thing happened to me. Something like this that you are looking, that we are doing for you now. Somebody came to, it was our church, and then he played it. We are about to play that video. The story of Benjamin Casson. How many of you have read that name before? Benjamin Casson. The gifted hands. Ben Casson. I wish I had it. I will still play that video to Casson. And then play that video for us. We watched that video that day, and then that man said something. The man said, if the life of this person can be transformed, nobody is above transformation. Everybody can be at their best. You can be the best student in your class. You can be the best student in your school. If Ben Cassie can turn around from a very poor student, he didn't know anything at all. And then I said, if this person is saying the truth, that means myself, I can also do it. That was the turning point. My mindset changed. So, when we are talking about academic excellence, it starts with the mindset. It starts with what? Mindset. So, one of the things we want you to gain today is to have your mind transformed, to believe in yourself that you can always be the best in your class, no matter the limitation or no matter the challenges. Everybody is designed to be excellent. Are you following me? Now, from that point forward, I began to think of, okay, how do I learn to become excellent, to become better? I met with some people. Then one of the big things that they told me to do is to change my study habit. That's one of the things I'll be teaching you to change my study habit. Now, my mind has been changed. Don't forget, I said the first thing was my mind was what? Changed. I begin to see myself as what? An excellent student. Someone that could top the class. Someone that could make A's. Someone that could become better. So the first thing you must do now as a student, let that mind be transformed. You have that capacity to become better. All of you, nobody here is an exception. Are you following me? So once you now make up your mind that Adeola, I want to be an excellent student. I want to be having A's in my subjects. That is the starting point. That I have the capacity to be the best wherever I find myself. So wherever I find myself, I usually tell people, as far as this thing is concerned, I am the best. That is where that mindset comes from. And from there, everything I do always have the touch of the best. So that mind should be in you now. That mind. Let that mind be in you. Have that mindset that wherever you are the best. So we call it mind your vision, mind your perception. It is how you see yourself. I know some of you have ever thought, I am not fit for this class. If I ever thought of that, because let me say that I am not fit for this. I can't compete with these people. I am too dumb. Okay, that's good. And so yes, I've been in that shoe before. In fact, when I was in school, there was one boy called Adedoji. Adewumi, I can't forget his name. In fact, all of us thought nobody can beat that guy again. We said, oh, he's the best, and that's all. But when I heard that word, my mind changed immediately. I said, as far as I am concerned, everywhere I am the best. And that mindset of the best stick with me all the rest of my life. Till today. So, in your mind now, begin to reorientate your mind. Begin to change that mindset. I know a lot of students who have inferiority complex. You have to change it now. You are the what? You are the best. Have a look at the back of your mind. Everywhere you find yourself, even in the university, everywhere you are the best. To that mindset, we go to study habits. Of course, for you to become the best, you have to act like the best. Let me repeat myself. For you to become the best, you have to act like the best. And one of the actions you are going to be taking is study habits. I read a manual here. I've gone through most of them. And then I'll be making a few comments on them. I will return them to your teachers. We are going to be using it to help you, fine-tune yourself. Now, one of the research that was made that we come to find out is that we noticed that it is not all students that have learned that know how to read or study. Let me use the word study here now. It is very possible that you take book in your phone and you are reading all the time. And in fact, people can say, oh, it's a bookworm. He reads 24 hours every time. In fact, when I was in London level, I have a girl like that, Christiana. Every time you see her in the library, she was always reading. But later on, we come to discover that this girl, the reading is not commensurating with the results. Then of course, you know that something would have happened. How many of you have found yourself in a studio where you read a lot, and then by the time you see your results, it's not always commensurating with, it's not always in tandem with whatever you read. Can I see your hand up? You know that when it comes to reading, I read a lot. But when the result comes out, it's always the opposite. Okay. Put that on hand. There are some things you need to start learning to do that I'm going to be mentioning here. Number one, to have select grades or to be excellent in your studies, you must have a goal. You must have what? You have your academic goals. This is the number one step, and I will tell you how. I will share my own practical experience with you. Like I told you, when I wrote WAEC 7 times, the 7th time The 7th time I was writing WAEC, I wrote some things down, and it has become my culture till today. When I was going for that exam, I said in so subject I was going to have A. So subject I was going to have A, and I listed all the subjects I was supposed to do, and I wrote what I want to score down. In fact, I wrote it exactly. I said in chemistry I was going to have 98A. Even when I go to university, that was what I was doing. Every course that I take always have a price tag. And I said, oh, if I'm going to have this goal, if I'm going to have 98 in chemistry or MTS 101, when I have this 98, I will reward myself with this. I'll come to that reward for goals. So I always have the goals. Then when I was in 100 level, I told myself that in our department, I was going to be the president. I said that to the said that by the time we finish 100 level, I was going to be the best in the department. By the time I reach 300 level, I want to be the best in the faculty. Are you following me? So, thank God this term is just starting. You have to go on and write the goal, what you want to achieve at the end of the term. In fact, if you want to become the best in your class, write it down here. By the end of this term, I want to be the best in this class. It is very possible. You know, the first thing I told you is that there is no limitation to what you can do if your mind can perceive it. If your mind can perceive it, you can achieve it. I want you to write that one down too. If my mind can perceive it, I can achieve it. If my mind can perceive it, I can achieve it. And that is true. It is very true for everybody God has created. There is no limitation for anybody. So let me make it practical a bit. I'm still going to study a bit. Now, I can start with, I've seen some of the reports you have. I will say my academic goals. Let me use another one. My academic goals for third term. Now, I will not say number one. I want to, by the end of the term, I want to top my class. Top my class. I'm just using that as an example. Or you can say, when I want to be one of the best 5 students, the best 5 students in the class. Among, I can say number 2. Among, I can say you can be top your class or among the top 5 students. Now, it is always good that when you are starting out in preparing your academic goals, it is always good that you start from the one that are achievable. For instance, if I know that I'm a weak student before, I'm always calling C. It will be wrong for me to start with top my class. I have to start small. And then once I'm in top 10 or top 5, I will now say after that top 5, let me be in top 3. After that 3, let me be in top 2. After that top 2, let me top the class. You take it gradually. You just say you that you have been number 20 in the class, you just top your class quick. That one might not be. That you have to set realistic goals. But you want to say that, okay, before, one of the things we do is that we make sure that you analyze yourself. Go down and sit down with yourself. What I have been performing, there are what's it called here. I have learners meeting. Your teachers have done that for you. They will still meet with you. I will make sure that I go from class to class and also make comments on this form that you feel. Now, after setting your academic goals, you now write all the subjects that you are doing. Physics, chemistry, and let's say, for instance, if I'm in science class, I can say for chemistry, I will have A1. For physics, I will have B3. You write them down. Now, the reason why we always ask students to do that is that you write it up and paste it somewhere. Every single morning that you wake up, go and look at it. Without saying anything at all, you are creating a mental picture that will drive every action you are going to do. It's something I have done before, and it works. When I was writing the last while, I wrote in all the subjects, and I wrote the grade I want to have. But when I wake up in the morning, I will go and look at that grade. Now, what it is creating for me? It will be creating that I need to work hard to be able to what? Achieve that thing. It will create that drive for you. Are you getting it? Good. So once you have your academic goals well written, the next thing you need to do is to have study timetable. What do you have? What do you have? Number 2, study timetable. Now, from the evaluation we have done, I will now be making reference to them one by one. Before you make study timetable, you have to understand the type of student that you are. I will explain it. Now, some students are generally fast learners. I know you know yourself, Abi. You know that when they teach you something, bam, before the teacher even say it, that's enter your head. There are some people, they are average learners. They have to do it 2 times before it enter. Some people, they have to do it almost 10 times. And that is why each of you are unique in your own ways. You don't copy others. Because you are different types of learners. When I was in school, a lot of people usually do that a lot. And I will tell them, don't copy me. Because I'm a type of student where, when, even if you don't teach me at all, just give me the material. Once I can read it, you don't need to teach me. Mathematics or any subject that you don't, just give me the syllabus and give me the textbook. I don't have a problem with you again. That's that of it. But some people, you need to be taught, so you don't compare yourself with others. So in planning your timetable, number 1, you have to discover your learning ability. When do you like learning, or when do you like reading? For instance, myself now, I'm a type of student that like reading in the midnight. Midnight is my time. I read around 3 to 6 every single day. And what I've been doing in school has also affected me up till now. In fact, the culture has so much divided me that every now, even that I'm teaching, I still read 3 hours a day. 3 to 6, I will surely wake up. Now I'm still reading book on the line because I'm still studying as well. And now I've added books on motivational books on money and the like. So, but you don't need that one now. For me, I'm added that book. I woke up by 3 and I read 6. So you also have to have that habit. That's the first habit. Your reading habit. You must have something you are cultured to. And during my reading time, I don't go with it, no distraction. You can't find books, you can't find anything with me because that's my personal time. It's a sacred time for me. I make sure I have it here. Very sacred. When I was in the university, what I did is that I was saying to Joseph, I will go to the reading, what's it called? I will read by 6 o'clock, I am done reading. I will come back. And then all of us will still be sitting and say, during the day, you can carry up and down. But they don't know that me, I have a ritual that I do every morning. So then, if you are joking with me, in fact, when they are watching ball, you watch ball. when they want to do this, we go together. But I have a sacred time that I dedicate what reading, and it doesn't change. Are you following me? So you too should create that study time, and that study time should be depending on who you are. For instance, let me carry two persons out. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. I'm out for it. Stand up. If I would like to ask you, what time do you like reading most? Like around what time? Like 8 in the evening, I mean, in the night. So like from 8 to what? Till 10. You see that? That's how. What about you? Around 5 in the morning. 5 to when? 5 to 7. Are you sure? No. They are saying your own time is saying, okay, see that. I'll talk about it. Okay, what about you? Okay. Around what time? 7 to 9. What about you? You leave now all the time. See that. Now let me ask you. Now do you know that there are some people they don't even have study timetable at all. They don't even have time. They cannot do themselves. Oh, this is a specific time, and if you are here, you are not working towards excellence. Reading must be a habit. What did I say? Reading must be a habit. Repeat it. Reading must be a habit. Repeat it. Reading must be a habit. So as from today, make it a habit. It will only work for you when you are in school alone. Even when you go old, you have cultivated that habit, and it will help you for all the rest of your life. You become a lifelong learner. Are you following me? Now it is when you know your where you live now. It is when you create that study timetable for you. Are you following me? You create that timetable for yourself. Now when you are creating that study timetable, you must also know how long you read. Come here, stand up. My friend, stand up. One thing. I think I see you remember your name. Okay, let's have it now. Can I ask you, how long can you read that you pay full attention? How long can you read that you pay full attention? That you know, don't lie, you know. I've looked at your words before. I will concept what you said in that. How long do you think that when I'm still reading along this time, I'm still going to concentrate? But after this time, my mind will not be there again. How long? 2 hours. Okay? What about you? 2 hours. Now, okay, see that. Do you know that there are some people, after 1 hour, their mind will not be able to concentrate again? It's not because they are wicked or what's it called, but sometimes they just feel that's how their mind is being structured. Although you can train yourself to be better. Now, the frequency of your concentration usually determines how you are going to create a timetable. Are you following me? The frequency of, for instance, if I'm a type of person that my mind always focuses around 45 minutes or 90 minutes. So my timetable will be structured along this time. I will just say, okay, 40 minutes for this, 40 minutes for this, and then I will use the other ones to do revision. Are you getting me? So make sure that when you are forming a timetable, you are considering your level of concentration. You don't force yourself to read 4 hours when you know by the end of 2 hours your mind will be gone away. It's a waste of time. Are you following me? So you do that, your study time must be there. Now, these are the preparative part of starting to learn. You have your goals, you have your study timetable. Now let's now go to when you are reading. Now, when you are reading. Now, let me tell you that all of you as you are, our memory is divided into two. I want you to listen up. Listen to this, this is the most interesting part now. Our memory is divided into two. We have short-term memory and what? Long-term memory. Your short-term memory is meant to take in information for about 20 seconds. After which, if it takes that information in, by the time it is not processed into long term, the information goes. That is why you observe that some people will read, but they did not take time to pass that information to their long term memory. And then by the time they will need that information in exam, they will not be saying, but I read this thing. You will not find anything there. The mechanism behind that is that information did not store in your what? Long-term memory. As it was entering the short term, you did not ensure that it is processed into the long-term memory. So by the time it entered, it went away again. So I will now be teaching you techniques to make sure that whatever you read enter into your long-term memory. Now let's start. Number one, now to start with, now look at the study habit here. Number one, you try not to do too much study at one time. You cannot study everything at a time. It is not possible. So don't force yourself. When you are reading, always have at the back of your mind, I want to read types of things today. This is what I want to go and read. So you have your mind prepared. Oh, I'm going to study. I want to read 2 subjects. And in these 2 subjects, in social study, I want to read type of environment. So you have a specific something that you want to read. So that you don't read that, you read type of this, you read that, you read all of it. By the time you take too much information in at the same time, your brain can only process specific information per time. Is that clear? So when you are going, for instance, if you are doing, let's say you are doing chemistry. Now you want to study chemical combination. Your focus will be, I want to study chemical combination, and my focus is covalent bond and electrocovalent bond. So you have restricted yourself to a particular target, and you want to make sure that you learn that thing very well before you read. So it makes your study effective. So if you are in the habit of reading everything at a time, you're always reading this, you read that, you read this, you read that, it won't work. Make sure you are reading it one at a time. I've mentioned specific time. Please. Now, like I said the other time, study at the same time each day. That means that you have decided that, okay, as a